Hi, this is Mike Schaefer with Next Home Cellular from the Villages again. Listen, I'm a realtor since over 40 years, and the last few weeks, I see a lot of videos, a lot of posts popping up where people say, yes, the market is going to take a downturn. For me, it's just something where I say I don't share this view, and I will tell you in this video why I don't share it based on some information that I'm giving you. But I just want to take the chance and record this video because I think even if it's not true, the more people hear about it, the more it might become true. I mean, someone is seeing a video, sharing it with 5 people. These 5 people share it with 20 people. These 20 people with 50 or 100, 1,000, and all of a sudden there's nothing to it, but it's coming through. Huh? So the market's going to take a turn. So I want to do the same thing. I want to report a little bit because why I see it different. So maybe you share my view with someone else. Maybe this will help the market to stay afloat. I'm especially referring to that video that you will see in the link further down below. Feel free, check out this video at any given time. Maybe you have two monitors where you can see it side by side. I'm referring to the time frame on that video where this guy says something that I really either don't share or that I share and tell you why I share it. Let's begin. Let's dive right into it.
Home prices are now officially dropping in the state of Florida, and in this video, I'm going to tell you how much they're going to.
It right, right after he starts with 3 seconds where he says, now it's official, the market is going to take a downturn, the home prices are falling. I mean, honestly, who gives him the right to say officially? I mean, all you can say is supply and demand regulate the prices as always, and we have a high supply. That's something I could agree with.
And about 25% above the long-term 50-year trend. You can see the only other time we've seen prices get this high above trend was the 06-07 bubble before the big crash. And what scares me about Florida's housing market in 2025...
after 25 seconds, he says, here he takes the housing bubble from 06 and 07 as a comparison to what he thinks will happen in the future. I mean, really, seriously, I mean, we had a totally different base back in 06 and 07. The banks had given out loans to people who really shouldn't have gotten a loan. I mean, this is officially recorded in so many different situations. I mean, I personally had a situation where I had a buyer that says I inherited a property, 2 properties actually, from his aunt who passed away. And he wanted to build a house on one of the properties. And he went to the bank, and the bank told him, I said, oh, I'm really sorry. We cannot grant you the loan for 1 property. But hey, if you want to build 2 houses, we're good with it. This guy was a truck driver. And that truck driver, you can imagine how this ended up when the bubble burst. Yes, he lost both homes. But now banks are way more strict, and they're not granting everyone a loan anymore. So you really have to show paperwork. So that's why I think you should not take this 06, 07 bubble and forward it forward and say, this is going to happen again.
And beyond is its interest rate sensitivity. Florida is a housing market that does best when interest rates are low and declining. Meanwhile, it struggles when interest rates are high and increasing. As you can see, Florida's average home price growth over the last 50 years is 5.4% a year, which is pretty good. However, notice in the last 20 years how there's been increasing volatility up above and below that average. And according to data on Reventure app, we're now officially in negative home price growth territory in Florida. Prices are down about 0.5% over the last year across the state, with some markets down as much as 7% over the last year.
Now we go further to 30 seconds, where he talks about the problem with high interest rates and why this will slow down the demand. I mean, honestly, partly agree with him that the interest rate is a problem. No question asked, especially for low-income families and first-time home buyers. But hey, we are dealing with homes in the villages. People who are selling their property up north coming down here, and I mean, nearly 90% of all sales in the villages are sold cash. There's no loan involved. They come down with money and they say, listen, I want to come down here and I want to spend the money. I mean, of course, it's a 55 plus community. You expect these people to have some money. So they're not so much affected. But in general, I agree with the guy that interest rate might be a problem. At 2 minute 10, he says, okay, he shows a slide that seems to have something where he says the migration to Florida is coming to an end. So this was never as slow as right now. He calls it the worst migration in history in his video. Please check it out. Go back to his video and check it out on 2 minutes and 10 minutes. 2 minutes and 10 seconds.
Moving into the state, you can see the long run average for migration is 134,000 people a year. You can see these migration figures skyrocketed during the pandemic all the way to a peak of 315,000 positive migration in 2022. However, since then, things have changed and changed fast, with Florida's net migration levels plummeting all the way to 64,000 in 2024, the fifth lowest level on record going back 35 years. So we're literally coming off one of the worst years for Florida migration in history, which explains why home prices are starting to drop and why the supply of homes available for sale on the market is...
I think that's a little excessive. I mean, and it's also not so much true for the villages. I mean, it's the season right now. And I think if migration would have slowed, I wouldn't be in a traffic jam every day. It's crazy. We double in population. And this is something where I cannot share his view. Absolutely not. And he says, it went down from 314,000 to right now 64,000. Honestly, if that's the case, we would not be stuck in traffic every freaking day. Absolutely not. At 2 minute 40, he says all of these news are good news for home buyers. Finally, I have something that I can agree with him because this is good news. I mean, if there is a lot of demand, a lot of supply, we definitely have a lot of people can choose from. It's a buyer's market, so that's good for buyers. At 2 minute and 58, he again refers to the 06-07 bubble and the crash. Again, the crash from 06 and 07 cannot be taken as a reference for today's market. This is like comparing apples with pears. Sorry, don't do it. Now we're jumping to 4 minute and 10, where he says he sticks to a slide where he makes you think home prices are overvalued. And he says this is the norm.
Hey, home values in Florida are 23% overvalued from their long-term norms, according to data available on Reventure app. This 23% overvaluation has improved a bit in the last couple of years as prices have edged down and incomes have gone up, but it's still well above the long-term norm, indicating that if you buy in Florida's housing market today, there is a higher than average likelihood that prices will drop in the future. And it's those high costs which have started driving...
I mean, okay, who says what's the norm? The norm is supply and demand, period. Nothing else to it. No more to say about it. Let's jump to 4 minute and 40. Here he talks about more younger people are leaving Florida. All right. Young people leave Florida, but honestly, they're not purchasing in the villages anyway. So this is a 55 plus community. Although I can neither confirm nor deny this is the case, I can tell you one thing. These people were never our buyers. Never.
Numbers showing that in 2023, Florida lost more people in the age segment of 20 to 29 than it gained. So this light blue bar showed more out-migration than in-migration. The dark blue bar for 20 to 29, for 30 to 39, it was equal. And for 40 to 49, there was actually more outbound migration as well. The only age segments that Florida gained in 2023 were 50 to 69, which kind of goes back to how Florida, used to run. Florida is a retirement destination.
At 4 minutes and 56, he's still talking about that migration chart. I don't know where he has it from, if it's true or not. But look at the chart when you check out this video. Here he says, our buyers, the group between 50 and 70 years old, these buyers have even increased, not decreased. All right, we're at the villages. This is exactly the group of people we are talking about. So I don't think, based on this one, if it's true or if it's not true, it's definitely nothing we should be concerned about, because that's why we had so many people in any open houses that we have. Now at 6 minutes and 10, he says he talked to a lot of brokers in Florida and they told him we are still selling like crazy.
People are still buying houses in Florida. I hear realtors all the time down here say, demand is strong. Everyone's moving here. This is the place people want to be. But when you look at the data on home sale transaction, it does not look so good. You look at this graph from Redfin, which measures the weekly adjusted home sales in Florida, you can see a huge drop in home sales over the last 3 years. So actually at the peak of the
Well, look at the data, not the charts. I mean, if we sold more homes, our company sold more homes in 2024 than we sold in 2023. We sold more homes in 2023 than we sold in 2022. I mean, that's a fact. It's not fiction. It's not a chart. It's just what happened. I don't care about his data. It's what it is. At minute number 7, he says that he's amazed that no one knows that we have the lowest home buyer demand in Florida. All right, I agree. I didn't know. So I don't know if it's true or not for us. All I'm saying is we don't care about the data. We care about what we sell. We care about the traffic at our open houses. That's all we care about. Nothing else. And at 7 minutes 30, he says that prices are still high, but his data suggests they're going to fall soon. I mean, he's right about it. Prices have not gone down. If they have come down, then it's really just minor. And this is always happening at any given market, where you have a lot of supply and a little bit of slowed up demand. And he says also it took back on the last bubble when the prices were down. It took a long time. He refers again to the bubble, that it took a long time until prices came back up. Yes, I agree with him. It took a long time, because after that, I mean, the banks were so strict. They didn't lend money. So that's why not so many people could purchase a new property. That's why it took a long term. But it's just not something that we can say it's happening again. We don't know that. I mean, it's just something that happened in the past. Please do not, and I repeat again, do not make this sure this is going to happen in the next cycle. At minute 8, he says, and he shows an example of a home where the sellers only made $200,000 profit.
$200,000 more than it sold for in 2017. So this owner is still trying to get a huge level of appreciation, even though the market in this area has slowed considerably and the buyer demand has plummeted. Of course, Florida
on his sale. This is for him the proof that markets are going down. I mean, so what's wrong with 200 grand profit? A crisis starts if everyone lowers their home asking prices. It's a downward spiral. Okay, absolutely. But this is something where we say if someone makes 200 grand, maybe, yeah, he could have made 250. But I think people are still good if they're making a good profit on their sale. And yes, house prices were cheaper back 10 years ago. People maybe if they sell right now, they're making a higher profit. Or they could have sold a year ago and have made a little bit of higher profit. But still, it's a profit. And boo-hoo, it's a capital. But this is capitalism. It happens. At minute 8:35, he goes back and tells you how much cheaper homes were a year ago. Yes, boo-hoo again. If you had purchased a home 20 years ago, you would have paid even less. You cannot compare 2019 to 2024. Period. That's it. At 8 minutes 55, he says that if you bought a home in Florida between 2010 and 2020, you made a lot of money. Well, exactly. That's true. Huh? But this was not just in Florida, it was all over the US. Huh? You bought it cheap and now you can make a good profit. There's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing. And if the seller in the northern part have to sell their homes with a huge profit, let's say with a huge profit, instead of just a huge profit, they will still do it. If someone has set his mind to come to Florida and want to live in the Sunshine State and not shovel snow anymore, this is what it is. They want to do it, and there's nothing you can hold them back with.
Percent overvalued, indicating it's not such a great time to buy a house for future return expectations. However, if you had bought in 2017, 2018, 2019, home prices back then were fairly valued. If you had bought in 2011, 2012, prices back then were 30% undervalued. So looking at this over-undervaluation metric is a good guidepost into helping you understand your future growth potential of buying.
At 9:25, he's talking about his charts again, where he says someone said houses here are overpriced. He didn't say who, it just says someone said. Do you really think, in my opinion, that home buyers are really going to check these charts before they want to buy a home? Or they just say, listen, hell yeah, I want to move to Florida. Let's just do it. I personally think that's what's going to happen. At 10 minutes 30, he goes back to the charts and back to a 607, where he says, it took a few years. I've been there before, and I told you why it took longer in 606, 07, where it says the banks didn't lend the money anymore.
The reason I'm making this video for you, everyone, is because I live down here in Florida now. I have lived here for 5 months. And I am continually amazed at how many people don't know the information I'm telling you in this video. I would say most people down in Florida don't really understand what the local housing market down here is. I just went to lunch today, actually, and I overheard someone talking about why they love owning real estate in St. Petersburg. And they said to their friend, they love it because they know it's a stable asset that's just going to go up in the long run. And
now he reveals something that's very telling for me. He says he bases all these information, and he is only living in Florida for 5 months, and he's already an expert on it. That's incredible. He lives here for full 5 months, and he thinks he knows what's going on by looking at charts. Really? Honestly? Seriously? Another self-proclaimed fortune teller with immense background and life experience. My advice? Listen to someone who has an idea what he's talking about. Listen to professionals. And he said himself in the video, most realtors he talked about don't agree with him. I might have an idea why this is the case. I'm one of them, and I'm living in Florida a little bit longer, and I'm doing my business since 40 years, I can tell you. I don't think so. At 11:11, he complains that a lot of other people don't know what he discovered after 5 long months. Yeah. In my opinion, I think that's the great thing. They haven't discovered that. If everyone falls for his charts, instead of reality, we will have a downward spiral. There's no ways. It's not based on facts. It's based on someone's charts. Don't fall for it. Go with your own guts. Talk to professionals. At 11:35, he says that he has overheard someone saying that real estate is a stable asset, and he thinks that's not the fact. But honestly, you only lose money if you buy a house at the wrong time and sell it at the wrong time. If you're not selling, you're not losing money. It's like with stocks. Don't sell, don't lose money. But let's stop it right here, because I could keep talking about this video over and over again. I would just say this. Stop looking at charts and talk to someone who has an idea. The future is not a sure thing. It's a projection. These charts say it might happen or it might not. It happened in the past. I don't think it's going to happen for sure in the future. Of course, I can't say this with 100% certainty, that it won't come down. All I'm saying right now is don't follow the charge, but listen to someone who is in the market, who is telling you and showing you what's really going on. You might be one particle of the future of real estate market if you share this video. So please do me a favor. If you think this is something that might be more true than what the down market is going to happen, please go ahead and share this video with other people. It might help you or help us that the prices keep stable. Again, my response was to the video listened from this guy. Go ahead and watch it now and get your own opinion. Watch it side by side and see what you think. Thanks again for watching this video. Sorry it was a little bit long, but at one point I had to interfere and do my own video and record what my opinion is. Thanks again for watching, and you have a nice day. Hopefully see you in one of my other videos soon.